everybody is racing to automate something and use AI right now, but most of them are just building faster ways to waste time. You've probably seen this, loads or whether it be online or other businesses, someone will spend half a day setting up a workflow that automatically sends them an email to remind them to check another email, something really stupid like that, or it summarizes things and sends them documents that they just don't need, right? And it just becomes almost pointless. And then what you see this kind of what we're seeing at the moment in automation and AI, which is a wave of people trying to sell this and trying to sell workflows and AI systems that fundamentally don't offer any real tangible value. And so none of this is ROI. This is just being busy and, looking like you're doing something really extraordinary when you're really not. And that's not what AI and automation really should be about. So if you want real return on investment from AI, actual business outcomes, you've got to look past the shiny tools and start spotting like where real opportunities are in your business. So let's talk about how we do that. So let me give you a quick example. So a few months ago, I was speaking to a partner at a small law firm, and they have a team of paralegals who spend hours and hours and hours every day summarizing client case notes and documentation, right? And when I say hours, I mean, hours, like literally days doing this. If you think about every meeting, every witness statement, every document, it gets read, summarized, and stored in a shared folder that only half the team can actually understand or access. And so by the end of the week, come Friday, they then are exhausted, and then come Monday, they redo it all over again. So the problem is, and the funny thing is, like a lot of their clients, so for businesses that hire lawyers, they don't see any of that work. They just want outcomes, like a lot of businesses. And I've got another video on this about we live in an outcome economy. And so most organizations, they don't really care about the intricacies. They just want you to deliver, whether they want it faster, they want it cheaper, they want clearer communication, and they want confidence, right? So what we looked at was a simple AI process for them. It wasn't a custom GPT. It wasn't a custom, workflow. It wasn't anything crazy with lots of different things on. All it was an AI and looking at their particular use case, and it listens to meeting recordings, it summarizes them, it structures the notes, and drafts an update email for the client. And this is super simple, but the return is huge, and it's massive for them, right? So it's such a simple little fix that some businesses don't even realize you have, but we were able to do that. So what used to take them 3 hours per case now takes 15 minutes, right? But and that's great, and that's some time saved. But the ROI isn't just on the time saved; it's the downstream impact that then has on clients and other people. So that means that they can take on more clients, they can respond faster, they can offer a better service, they can bill more accurately. So in some cases, where actually they might be able to save a client money because they've done the work a lot quicker, which is going to be great for retention. And so that then becomes the value, and it's not just the time saved. And this isn't anything fancy, right? This isn't some crazy AI transformation program, right? This is just using AI and automation in a smart way that is value driven first. So it's very much ROI is all about value, and that's very much what I'm about and what I build. And when we look at AI and workflows and automation for businesses, it's all about value and outcome first. So when we talk about ROI from an automation perspective, save time comes up a lot. So okay, well, this saves me time. This is a time saver. It's a time saver. A lot of the manual repetitive tasks get replaced. And my question is like, yeah, okay, but what are you saving that time for? If you save time by deleting a manual task from your job, but then you spend that time on LinkedIn or answering emails, you're not really getting a good ROI on it. So what you need to do is like real ROI is about turning that saved time that you get into actual business growth and using the time wisely to then do things that you didn't have time for before, right? Because that's the whole idea. So, for example, if the law firm uses those extra hours to take on two more clients per month, that is ROI. If the same system then reduces burnout in the team, that's ROI. If clients get updates faster and then they renew their contracts, that's also ROI. So it's not just about how much time things can save you. It should create clear, measurable outcomes and value. I'll give like another example. So let's kind of like switch gears slightly. So imagine a bakery, right? You picture a bakery, small, local, family-run bakery. Every morning, the owner is up at 4 a.m. They've got orders from cafes, custom cakes, retail customers, walk-ins, whatever it might be. And they're still managing everything on an old paper notebook and a WhatsApp thread. By 10 a.m., the ovens are running non-stop and they've got no idea if they're about to run out of flour or if they've baked too much, right? And that's just chaos, right? That's crazy. And it's inexpensive, right? Because there's wasted ingredients, missed orders, you've got unhappy customers. There's a lot of spend on things you could ultimately eliminate. Now, imagine that same bakery started to think about how they could use AI and automation setups, right? So, what if their automation could track ingredients and stock? What if it did that when things are running low? It automatically sends an order to the supplier. It even looks at last month's sales and predicts next week's demand. So suddenly now, the owner's not firefighting, right? They're planning for the future. And so that's less waste, that's more profit and more time back enjoying running the business, right? And this is you know, like that's a very, very simplified example. But the point I'm trying to make is that, you know, again, it's not about being really, really the shiniest, latest tools, right? It's about doing things that are right for your business, doing them effectively and efficiently, and just taking a step back from chasing everything AI related and trying to do something that's right for you and that you can measure as success. So, look, how do you find your own ROI opportunities, right? Okay, it's quite a hard question. Every business is really different. Every business, has different models and processes and systems already in place, right? So, look, for me, it's really simple. And there are three key questions that you need to ask yourself, right? Which is what's repetitive? So if you're doing it more than once a week, is it, can you automate that task, right? What's painful? If it's something that drains energy, motivation, it's something that isn't accurate, it's, the chances are it's probably leaking money from somewhere. And what's invisible to clients, but it eats at your time? And this is a really interesting question. So think about the things that you have to do for your clients that your clients have no idea about, right? And it might take you X amount of time to do something or it cost you X amount of money to get an outcome for your client. How much can you automate of that, right? And so that's where AI for me really kind of quietly builds quite a lot of leverage because it's the behind the scenes stuff that nobody values but everyone relies on. And once you start to understand that, then that's where you can take on more customers and clients and generate more revenue. So look, don't chase what's exciting, chase what's repetitive and annoying because typically that's where like ROI hides. So yeah, look, conclusion, finding ROI within AI isn't about being clever. It's about finding the right things that quietly ruin your week, right? And like you've got to ask yourself, okay, well, what if this just handled itself? What if you didn't have to do this thing over and over again? So look, I think it's really, really important, to really think about ROI. It's so easy to be sold on AI and automation and workflows. And look, I'm part of that problem in some respect, right? I've gone for a massive journey and a transition into automation and AI workflows and kind of seeing what the future holds. In that it isn't going to be in the technology itself. It's going to be people that understand business and can ultimately help businesses grow and be more efficient. technology is moving so quickly. It's pointless trying to sell technology now. It's all about outcomes, right? And we live in this outcome economy. So yeah, look, follow along for more. The next video is going to be about the outcome economy because I really want to talk about that. I think it's a really, really important part in this kind of AI automation um, space that we're in at the moment. And I'll see you in the next video.